was just thinking about some things I could have done better last year, and it made me realize that sometimes, in an effort to avoid the awkwardness, the social awkwardness of something, I speak out of turn or I say something unusual, and that has gotten me into a little bit of trouble last year. So I had a problem at work last year because I was trying to brag about some of my hobbies. I like to view outer space. So we had a new security guard at the campus I was working at, and one night I almost jokingly asked him if he could turn off some of the street lamps so I could get a better picture of some stars. And I gave it a 1% chance he might do it. It was more of an icebreaker to brag to him about how I view outer space. Sure enough, he couldn't do it, and I went elsewhere to view outer space, and it was good. But a couple days later, my manager was just really puzzled. He asked me why I was asking to have the street lamps turned off. And then I made it even more awkward by assuring him all I wanted to do was take some pictures of outer space, and it's okay. I got these pictures instead. I went this way. And I just made it so awkward. Part of the problem is I didn't have any other way to break the ice with the new security officer. I didn't know what his hobbies were. I didn't know anything. I should have been a little bit more comfortable accepting the mystery than to try to break the ice with such an awkward request. It's kind of funny because I only gave it let's say I gave it a 1% chance he might do it. Had I felt like he might do it, I probably wouldn't have asked. It was more of a conversation starter. I didn't feel it was my right to ask for such a request. I only asked it because I knew I wouldn't get it. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how it turned out. Anyways, so I made it even more awkward by explaining myself to my manager, and it just became a hugely awkward situation, which I probably could have avoided by allowing myself to be a little bit uncomfortable for the few moments that I have to see the security officer on my way into the office. But I get very uncomfortable about situations like that. I had a situation where I almost got into a fight in a subway station here in Seattle. What had happened was I went to this train station. I didn't think there would be anybody there, so I started singing this song that I had composed about somebody I had dealt with on Craigslist who had scammed me. I don't want to sing it on here, but it's about how a client of mine had scammed me on Craigslist. And I was singing this song in the subway station thinking there's nobody there. And then the train comes and I notice, oh my God, there was somebody here the whole time. And it became so awkward for me that I went up to him and I explained how this client of mine had scammed me. And he didn't say a word the whole time, and it made me even more uncomfortable, and I almost wanted to, we got on the train, I started explaining, and when he didn't speak and I got uncomfortable, I actually got off the train because I felt like I was going to beat him up if I let this continue. And silence does that to me a lot. It makes me uncomfortable, it makes me feel like almost like hanging off a cliff on a roller coaster of some sort. And I need to correct that because sometimes when I speak out of turn, I weaken my situation even more. This happens a lot when I do any sort of a deal. Like when I was buying my car, I'm driving a Mitsubishi Lancer right now. It kind of worked in my favor because what had happened was we were sitting at the car dealer's office. This was Honda of Kirkland. We're sitting in the office. And I was calling my insurance company to get the insurance reactivated, and then we discovered that my license had been suspended, and I went completely silent because I was trying to brainstorm what do I do next. I was just about to move out of my apartment and move into the car. This was springtime, the weather was getting better, so I was going to move out of the apartment into the car, and now I couldn't get the car, and I started to get very confused. And I was brainstorming, do I fly back home to my family? What do I do next? And the dealer lowered the price. And we found out why my license had been suspended, and so it was good. But silence just makes everything so uncomfortable for everybody involved for some reason. I need to be more comfortable with it. Maybe practice with it a little bit more. Maybe go silent myself and watch other people's reactions and realize how stupid it is sometimes. I'm trying to remember where else this has happened. Sometimes, I had a client of mine who was really upsetting to me because I was doing some tutoring, and my client, I saw him at the end of June, right before the end of the spring semester, and I knew he would need my services over the summer. And over the next couple of weeks, they go completely radio silent. Had they told me that they didn't need my services, that would have been fine. I could have arranged something else. I was working at somewhere where I could have taken those weeks off if I, but they didn't tell me, and then we'll call you next week if we need you. It was really awkward. They went completely silent. I came to find out that they really wanted my services, but they had money troubles or something like that. So yeah, it's all right. I wish they could have been a little bit more open. We probably could have arranged something. But see, had I been on the other side of that table, I probably would have used that as an icebreaker and probably weakened my situation. And so maybe part of the problem is that I don't have non-business friends in order to have these casual conversation. Maybe that is part of my problem. Most of my friends revolve around clients or my workplace, and maybe that's one thing I also need to rearrange as well. Thanks for watching.